Hi, it's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with franchise expert specialist, Mr. Chuck Prenevost in beautiful downtown Squamish. How are you doing today, Chuck?
I'm doing great, Mark. Yeah, doing great. Thank you.
So we're going to talk about a bit of planning, how to get ready. So 4 activities to do now to own your own business in 2015. What are they?
Well, again, a little preamble to the topic itself, Mark. As I was going through all my 2015 planning, marketing, what's working, what's not. Let's tweak, marketing and activities. I thought it would be a great topic to talk about for people who are looking or are considering, hey, is business ownership ready for, right for me? And then what are some of those activities that you could do now to get yourself ready for 2015? And the first one is always getting your family on board. You and I have talked about this a little bit about getting having those discussions with your spouse or significant other, and really the rest of your family too. That's going to be impacted by a decision of this magnitude. Discuss with them, or with your spouse in particular, where you are personally with your career. How satisfied you are, what's your fulfillment that you have in your current career, and talk about what gaps are there, be it money, the fulfillment side of your career, that business ownership is going to bring to you. So that's a big part. So map that out. I guess the way I would describe it is map your daily lives out right now. What goes on, schedules, timing, financials, all of that, and then look at how this, owning a new business can affect all of those aspects of your life, because it will, right? It will. There'll be time drains on all parts of the family. So you have to be aware of that, and the bottom line for that is, by having this first thing of getting your family on board, is knowing that they are on board, right? Having them on board, and you knowing they are, is going to keep you focused on your goal, looking for a business that could be the right fit for you. So that's the first big point I wanted to bring out. Second one, and again, we have talked about this a number of times in our other hangouts, conducting proper research, right? So there's that initial step that you take stock of why you want to do this, right? Maybe you're working for somebody who doesn't appreciate your efforts, or you've secretly always wanted to own your own business, for various reasons, or you're in transition right now, your career transition, and now is the right time, right? The reality is, there's only three ways to start your own business, right? You start it from scratch, buy an existing business, buy a franchise, and each one of those has their pros and cons and just different risk levels. And what your goal there is, you have to decide what risk level best suits your family and your own personal goals and your financials, right? It's those. It seems like common sense, but having some of this is important. What I find is many folks gravitate towards franchising because the proven systems and processes, um, and some brand recognition. And the most important part of it is you can do proper research and quantify what those business systems and numbers look like. So very, very critical, excuse me, piece. Third part, I call it the financial roadmap. Again, we're talking about money, proper research, financial roadmap. And again, once you've had that discussion with your spouse and assume that they're on board, the next step I always suggest is go talk to your banker, right? They're going to have to know what you're doing. So let them know exactly. I'm considering business ownership. What is my current net worth? And from your perspective, the bank's perspective, what are they comfortable potentially loaning to you? Be it a home equity loan or a full business loan. So, in other words, you want to go find out what you can do in the way of financing, right? What can you afford? So again, a big piece. One of the things I know a banker is going to say to you is, um, we need a well-written business plan. right? Very critical piece. Doesn't matter if you go to your banker or not, you need to write a business plan. If you've never written a business plan before, there are experts in the market within my network that I could refer over to. This is what they do for a living. They know exactly what to quantify, where to get the information. So a very critical piece. And completing that business plan from your own perspective will give you the knowledge and understanding of how successful that business venture can be or not, right? So that financial roadmap is a critical piece. The last part I want to talk about is building your team, right? Starting a business is hard work. It really is. And you can't do it all by yourself. So I always recommend finding some experts in particular areas. The first one is the accounting and financial planning. Okay. Second one we talked about already is the banker. And the third one is a business lawyer or franchise lawyer. So these are people that have certain expertise that you do not. And you will need to engage in discussions in order for you to understand what's required on that part. They have areas of expertise that they bring to the table that you're missing, and you will need them in order to be successful, especially in those startup timeline. And a little story. When I first started my business many years ago, a mentor of mine, and I started my business from scratch, so it was tough. A mentor of mine gave me a great piece of advice, and I still use it to this day. And it was a very simple piece of advice. Take your banker and your accountant out on a quarterly basis for lunch. Buy them lunch. Tell them what's going on. Tell them what your challenges are, what's working, what's not working, and have a discussion. They have perspective on business outside of your area of expertise. And I would say leverage that as far as you can. So those are the 4 activities that I think a lot of people need to do in order to get ready now, or to do those activities now to get ready for owning a business in the future.
That's awesome advice, Chuck. And I think if I look back at my travails of starting this business from scratch and going through it, that would have made life a heck of a lot easier. We survived, but there was some tough moments, and I think that's the value that I see, that using your services, which are free, basically, can really accelerate someone and make the process as stress-free as it can be. Let's make no mistake, owning a business is hard, but it's very worthwhile. And having a guide who's been there, walked the walk, has the outside eyes to give you the kind of feedback that you need is really important to accelerate your business forward. So again, I just want to thank you, Chuck. I'm really enjoying what we're doing here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want help in getting a franchise for yourself, exploring that, this is the guy to talk to in Western Canada. Chuck Prenevost. Give him a call, 1-604-849-0278. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks very much, Mark. Pleasure.